next guest had a chance encounter on an airplane.
That changed their lives forever. Listen to this.
Yeah, I missed my flight because I was like too big to navigate the airport.
Young, overwhelmed, and 8 months pregnant, Samantha Snipes missed her connection. So she was rebooked on a new plane where she ended up sitting next to Temple Phipps.
So I was in the window seat of the plane and she was flying standby.
She was like super excited for me for being pregnant and everything.
The two women instantly bonded.
She sits down in the middle seat beside me and then she's really nervous and anxious, and I ask her why and she starts telling me.
Samantha explained that she knew in her heart she wasn't ready to be a mom, and Temple told her that being a mom was something she had always dreamed of. By the time the plane landed, a real friendship was formed. They exchanged numbers, and they said what they thought was goodbye. But 3 days later, Temple got a phone call that would change her life forever.
Said, "It's Samantha from the plane."
3 days later.
I said, "Is everything okay?" And she said, I'm still in Raleigh. I had the baby. Do you want to come see us?
Scared and alone with a premature baby, Samantha felt like Temple was the only person she could truly count on. Temple rushed to the hospital and didn't leave their side. Seeing Temple with a baby led her to make the bravest decision of her life. Temple adopted the baby from Samantha in August 2017. That misconnection ended up connecting this special family for life.
Please welcome Sam Snipes, Temple Phipps, and her nearly 2-year-old son, Vaughn.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Ben. Nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Ben. Nice to meet you. Hi, Vaughn.
Oh, look at those old red shoes.
All right, so this is about the craziest story we've ever heard in our entire life. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, who knew that 45 minutes was going to be the most amazing 45 minutes of our lives?
Absolutely. Now, Temple, were you thinking about adopting before?
I've always wanted to be a mother since I was a little girl, and just had never happened for me the traditional way, and I had inquired about adoption of older children, and I'm a single woman, and so it's hard to adopt as a single parent. So I kind of just let it play out in God's hands, and here we are today.
Got on the right flight.
Yes, I did. That Delta flight forever.
What was it like for you when you first brought up the idea of maybe you should have this baby, maybe this baby should be yours, you should adopt him?
Well, I actually asked her on the plane, and she said she'd consider it, and that was just through conversation and getting to know each other and realizing that she wanted a better life for him than what she had had. And so I threw out the idea, and a few days later, she called and said she had him. So.
Amazing. Sam, can you take us to that moment when you realized that Temple, this is the woman, this is the one?
I considered it on the plane when she brought it up, but I thought I was still leaving, so I didn't really think about it more. But then I went into labor a month early, and I was like, well, let me see how she interacts with him. So she came into the hospital. I didn't even tell her that I was considering that. She thought I needed a friend. And just watching her come in, she was like this, like shaking when she tried to feed him. She looked so happy. She couldn't take her eyes off of him, and I'm like, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted for him. I want that, like.
Yeah. I have chill bumps.
I do too. I still get chill bumps every time.
I didn't even have to fake the shaking. I'm already shaking.
Beautiful, beautiful story.
Thank you.
And selfless.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Selfless.
Absolutely.
Temple, when you talk to your family after this happened, they're like, "Oh, how was your trip?" And you're like, "Great, I have a son."
Kind of. So the first person I called when she asked me to come visit her in the hospital was my mother, obviously. And she was skeptical, but also was a big believer that things happen for a reason. And she felt, as I did once she actually got to meet Samantha, that she was just an amazing, genuine, sincere, courageous woman that loved her son enough to give him to me. And then it was 6 weeks later that my mother passed away, actually. And she spent the last 10 days of her life holding him.
She got to be a grandma.
She did.
That's wonderful.
I remember one thing she told me. She was like, I was praying for her to have a man, but I thought he would be taller with more hair.
She did. She did say that. My mom, and even in the end, had the greatest sense of humor. She was amazing. So here we are.
We're so happy y'all are here.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Now, Miss Temple, Sam wrote you a little letter, a little something she'd like to read.
Wow.
Good.
Share it.
Do we have tissue here? Thank you.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Never know.
For
Thank you.
everybody.
Temple, where do I even begin? Meeting you on the plane that day changed bonds in my life forever. Not only did you give him everything I couldn't, you've given me things I never thought I could achieve. I was always scared of being alone, scared to take any big step, and scared to believe in myself. The moment you laid eyes on Vaughn, I knew for sure that this was all meant to be. The way he looks at you now is the same look you had in your eyes that day I invited you to the hospital. I was broken and damaged with a difficult past and emotional pain that I carried on my back every single day. Everywhere I went, I had no confidence, but you told me every single day how gorgeous and strong I was, and you were so patient even though it took me a whole year to believe you. I will never forget the excitement in your voice when I finally figured out who I really was. You helped me blossom at 26 years old. You've become my best friend, a mother figure, a sister, and sometimes my granny who always knows what's best. And I couldn't be happier to have all of those things with you. I can't wait for our future with little VP and all the memories we will continue to create. You know, I could write a book on just how amazing you are. Thank you so much for wanting to keep me present in your lives. I love you guys so much.
Oh, we love you. Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, thank you.
What do you think, Temple?
I think my sentiments are exactly the same. I feel like I gained a daughter at the same time and an amazing, we have a very unique family, but it's a chosen family, and we wouldn't have it any other way.